During the period immediately before the rise of Christianity, the intercourse between the Watchers and human women was often seen as the first fall of the angels. Christianity stuck to the Enochian writings at least until the 3rd century. Many church fathers such as Irenaeus, Justin Martyr, Clement of Alexandria, and Lactantius accepted the association of the angelic descent to the sons of God passage in Genesis 6 verses 1-4. However, some Christian ascetics, such as Origen, rejected this interpretation. According to the church fathers who rejected the doctrine by Origen, these angels were guilty of having transgressed the limits of their nature and of desiring to leave their heavenly abode to experience sensual experiences. Irenaeus referred to fallen angels as apostates, who will be punished by an everlasting fire. Justin Martyr identified pagan deities as fallen angels or their demonic offspring in disguise. Justin also held them responsible for Christian persecution during the 1st centuries. Tertullian and Origen also referred to fallen angels as teachers of astrology. The Babylonian king, who is described as a fallen morning star in Isaiah 14 verses 1-17, was probably the first time identified with a fallen angel by Origen. This description was interpreted typologically both as an angel and a human king. The image of the fallen morning star or angel was thereby applied to Satan by early Christian writers, following the equation of Lucifer to Satan in the pre-Christian century. The subject of fallen angels is covered in a number of catechisms of the Roman Catholic Church, including Reverend George Hayes, in which he answers the question, what was the sin by which they fell? It was pride, arising from the great beauty and sublime graces which God had bestowed upon them. For, seeing themselves such glorious beings, they fell in love with themselves, and, forgetting the God that made them, wished to be on an equality with their Creator. The consequence of this fall being that they were immediately deprived of all their supernatural graces and heavenly beauty. They were changed from glorious angels into hideous devils. They were banished out of heaven and condemned to the torments of hell, which was prepared to receive them. In terms of the history of fallen angel theology, it is thought to be rooted in Enochian literature, which Christians began to reject by the 3rd century. The sons of God came to be identified merely with righteous men, more precisely with descendants of Seth who had been seduced by women descended from Cain. The cause of evil was shifted from the superior powers of angels to humans themselves. And to the very beginning of history, the expulsion of Satan and his angels on the one hand, and the original sin of humans on the other hand. However, the Book of Watchers, which identified the sons of God with fallen angels, was not rejected by Syriac Christians or the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church. Augustine of Hippo's work Civitas Dei, 5th century, became the major opinion of Western demonology and for the Catholic Church. He rejected the Enochian writings and stated that the sole origin of fallen angels was the rebellion of Satan. As a result, fallen angels came to be equated with demons and depicted as non-sexual spiritual entities. The exact nature of their spiritual bodies became another topic of dispute during the Middle Ages. Augustine based his descriptions of demons on his perception of the Greek daimon. The daimon was thought to be a spiritual being, composed of ethereal matter, a notion also used for fallen angels by Augustine. However, these angels received their ethereal body only after their fall. Later scholars tried to explain the details of their spiritual nature, asserting that the ethereal body is a mixture of fire and air, but that they are still composed of material elements. Others denied any physical relation to material elements, depicting the fallen angels as purely spiritual entities. But even those who believed the fallen angels had ethereal bodies did not believe that they could produce any offspring. Augustine, in his Civitas Dei, describes two cities, civitates, distinct from each other and opposed to each other like light and darkness. The earthly city is caused by the act of rebellion of the fallen angels and is inhabited by wicked men and demons, fallen angels, led by Satan. On the other hand, the heavenly city is inhabited by righteous men and the angels led by God. Although his ontological division into two different kingdoms shows resemblance of Manichaean dualism, Augustine differs in regard of the origin and power of evil. In Augustine works, evil originates from free will. Augustine always emphasized the sovereignty of God over the fallen angels. Accordingly, the The inhabitants of the earthly city can only operate within their God-given framework. The rebellion of angels is also a result of the God-given freedom of choice. The obedient angels are endowed with grace, giving them a deeper understanding of God's nature and the order of the cosmos. Illuminated by God-given grace, they became incapable of feeling any desire for sin. The other angels, however, are not blessed with grace, thus they remain capable of sin. After these angels decide to sin, they fall from heaven and become demons. In Augustine's view of angels, they cannot be guilty of carnal desires since they lack flesh, but they can be guilty of sins that are rooted in spirit and intellect, such as pride and envy. However, after they have made their decision to rebel against God, they cannot turn back. The Catechism of the Catholic Church understands the fall of angels as radical and irrevocable rejection of God, and is reigned by some angels who, though created as good beings, freely chose evil, their sin being unforgivable because of the irrevocable character of their choice, not because of any defect in infinite divine mercy. Present-day Catholicism rejects apokatastasis, the reconciliation with God suggested by the Church Father Origen.